Hi, Nikki here. A little bit knackered, Nikki. I've been doing gardening and painting all week and working and looking after Harley, and I'm slightly tired. That is half term for you. How is everyone doing? So I just text Kelis and she said she's ready. Not entirely sure she knows how to come on the live though. No, I'm going to have faith because I know she's done it with Damon, one of our other friends, on his live. Yeah, I hope she's going to come on in a minute. Otherwise I have to jump off and jump back on again. How's everyone doing? Hi, Millie. How is it in Philadelphia? How is everyone doing? I know you said it was really hot in Philadelphia. Like even last month you said it was hot. Hi, Parent Folk. How are you guys doing? Oh, I'm really looking forward to playing at Parent Folk Festival in Liverpool. Or is it Cheshire? I think it's in Cheshire. Hit me on here and let me know where it is. Yeah, it's really hot. Oh, that's not good, is it? Well, I like scorching weather because we get rain most of the time. Yeah, Parent Folk Festival. I'm DJing there on Sunday, August, or is it the last weekend of July? I'm so bad with dates because, oh, Kelis joined, wave. Because long COVID has mashed up my brain and now I forget everything, whereas my brain used to be the best thing about me. Okay, view request, go live, it's easy. Technology! Saturday the 7th of August, that's it. I thought it was Sunday. Hi!
Hi!
Oh, hi, Red Lip!
Hello, Red Lip!
Obviously.
Hey, lady. Well, that's it's like the new outfit.
Yeah. You should see below here.
Girl,
you should see what's actually going on.
You already know. It's
There's
very
a lot of
real
sweatpant action.
Oh, yeah, all day.
So how are you?
I'm chilling. How are you, lady? I'm working and, you know, farming and all that good stuff. The regular now.
Oh, hi, Marcus. Yeah, I know. We've been on half-term holidays here, so I've had Harley all week on my own. And I've been doing gardening and thinking about you, like pulling things out of the ground and
well, I know
tending
so
the vegetables. Yeah, he loves gardening. He loves it.
So cute.
Yeah, so I've been doing all that jazz and I mucked up my manicure.
Oh, mine, I jacked up mine. I don't even have a manicure right now. It's so bad. It's all ugly and just wrong.
Gardening is not the one for manicures.
No, farming is not the one for manicures. Everyone's like, what's the hardest part of farming? I'm like, keeping a manicure.
Yeah, it's been like not even a week and I've scuffed it.
Oh yeah, no, of course. It's ridiculous.
So what's happening? We haven't seen each other. This is the longest time I haven't seen you in probably 15 years.
The longest time, I know. Well, I was talking to someone, I'm like, yo, I have not been grounded, like where I feel like I haven't gone anywhere in, honestly, it's for like 20 years. It's been the longest I've been. We went on vacation a couple weeks ago and that was the first time we've been anywhere in over a year, which for me
I
is
did
insane.
See that. I was very annoyed. I was like, Nikki should be at the spa. What's going on?
It was insane. It was so dope.
That's the only reason I come on tour, Kay.
Oh, listen, girl, at this point, me too. Like, what can we eat? Where can we go? So yeah,
I think it's a joke, but
it was crazy. But other than that, I haven't been anywhere. So it's been like, yeah, this is not only the longest you and I haven't seen each other, but like the longest I haven't gone anywhere in my entire, like in the past 2 decades. Like
I think I was trying to work it out. I was like, I've been in a club every week since I was 17 DJing every week somewhere.
Pretty much, yeah.
And now it's like a year and like 15 months or something. It's mental.
Do you feel like the break was like, even though we didn't, you know, no one wanted this, but like, do you feel like it like was good, or do you feel like you're just ready for it to be over?
Well, welcome to the Kelis interviews, DJ Nikki.
I'm like
taking over. Yeah, yeah, I do feel like it
Well,
was
I'm
actually.
like, for whatever. I'm like, you're not interviewing me. You know everything about me. Like, what
Yeah,
the
I
hell?
know, right?
I'm gonna
Let's
talk
not
to
go
you.
there.
I'm like, it's ridiculous. I'm like, what are you gonna ask me? Like, you know what I already know.
That's very true. Yeah, bar the having COVID and long COVID, which was not fun, actually just staying at home as a family, we did not mind it at all. Like, we didn't go mad, we weren't arguing or like, yeah, it was nice. We kind of bonded more, I think, because we just don't see each other a lot of the time. Like, Kevin will be on tour or I'm on tour and you're just getting through. But this was like a chance to not reevaluate, but just, yeah. And also I just noticed obviously even more who the real ones were, the people that really checked in on you, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, when it's like, when it's not all about the fun and the party and where can we like get dressed up and meet up next, but like the people who are actually like, it's a Tuesday at noon and like, how are you feeling? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But we already know that though. Like, you know,
we know. Well, we wouldn't have lasted a life sentence together without knowing that. It's been 21 years this year.
That's insane. Has it been that long?
21 years, yeah.
You know what's funny? I was talking to Kate the other day, and I was like, she said something. What were we I can't remember how it came up. We were talking about something, and she was like, oh, I can't remember what prompted it, but she said something, and I was like, well, Nikki and I have been friends for a really long time, and I was like, well, but we never really like talked. It was like 5 years until like, and she was like, that's so weird. I was like, not really, because we were always in the club. I'm like, it wasn't until like way later on in our friendship we still spent good times together.
Yeah, because
and, like, we were just out. It was fun, but like it was a different thing. Yeah, for sure.
Also because I'm a DJ and obviously quite socially awkward, I was always in the DJ booth.
Right. Well, sometimes we would hang out and we would have drinks and we would eat and do all this stuff, but like the like deeper like friendship conversations where you really get to you know what you know what we were talking about. I was like, I'm trying to figure out how this came up. She was talking about The Chase.
The what?
Isn't it called The Chase, the show that you won?
Yeah, The Chase, yeah.
Okay. Just for all you who don't know, Nikki won the damn Chase, okay? So I was super proud.
2019.
And she was saying something, she was like, I didn't know Nikki knew all this history. And I was like, well, because she knows that I'm like a history psycho. And she's like, I didn't know Nikki. I was like, you know, and I said to her, I was like, it's funny because like for years, I didn't know Nikki was like that either. She's like, yeah, but you guys knew each other for so long. And I'm like, yeah, we did. But like, no one's talking about like the Renaissance at freaking 57 at like 4 a.m. Like, I'm like, I didn't know you knew that, and you didn't know I knew that. Like, it's just so funny. Like, that's literally what we were talking about. She's like,
but the weirdest thing, out of all the people that I met, and I met like every frigging artist and celebrity going at that time would come to my parties with Liz, and like just so many people that other people would find fascinating, and the only person that I really bonded with was you. So there was obviously a reason for that.
No,
and
sure.
we bonded.
Little do we know, it was our love of history.
Yeah. Well, no, but we loved each other's like style and shoes and handbags and stuff, and that's how. And then we found out we were kind of informed by the same stuff. Our dads liked the same music, and we had the same influences and stuff. So yeah, like it all makes sense when you break it down.
No,
but then people don't know that we're actually quite nerdy.
Well, yeah, they have no idea. Well, the thing about it is that I think like and obviously, again, you know, we met through like our nightlife, whatever. But like the reality is that even like as much as we both love fashion and we both love music, it's very curated and it's very specific. And so it's not like some other people just like fashion because they're wearing the newest thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like, hey, like it's funny. I put on this stupid T-shirt the other day and people are like, where's that T-shirt? I'm like, I've had this T-shirt for so long. It's old. I'm like, I don't even know where I got it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff, like it's actual style as opposed to like liking fashion. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's actual, like, it's personality and character kind of traits that we have that are really similar that I think a lot of people don't realize. People are always like, it's so weird that you and Nikki are best friends. I'm like,
I know.
Like, why? It's like, well, she lives in the UK and you live in the States. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm going to let you work that out. Okay. No
one can ever get their head around it. And whenever we go to different countries, they're like, wait, you flew from London? You flew from America? And they're for ages going, what? Why are they friends? Why is she doing for her? Like,
I also think people don't realize how much we travel. Like, I think that's the other thing is that even though we do live on the opposite ends of the earth, we're actually together more than I'm with other friends that live, you know, in the same city, just because like we're actually like on the road together so much. And you really learn someone by traveling with them. Nikki's crazy.
Oh boy.
You know that. She's absolutely insane. Sidebar, this is so not a conversation for this, but I'm like, I haven't seen you in so long. I literally was talking about you again the other day because I'm working on this project and it's about food and traveling and whatever, and I won't say it on this thing, but it's so funny because they were like, who do you usually do all this stuff with? And I was like, my freaking angry, crazy ass white friend who does not want to do any of this stuff. I'm like, I have 2 good days with Nikki. We'll be on a tour. I'm like, I have 2 days where I can get her to do random stuff. And then she's like, I don't feel good. I'm not going. Like,
yeah. I've never had a problem saying no to anyone. You know that. I'm not a people pleaser. I never have a problem saying no.
Oh, hell no, you're not at all. I'm quite convincing now. I am very good at convincing.
But
so
I feel like, you're just relentless. You will badger me and badger me. Remember the time that you actually barged into my hotel in Amsterdam and refused to leave until I came out to the Buster after party with you and Simone basically broke the door down. She put her shoe in the door.
One moment.
And both of you stood in my hotel room and refused to leave unless I got ready to come out. And you were like, here's Hennessy, you're coming out.
You have to. It's like, come on.
Boy. So basically, this is Mums at Rave, my side project.
Yep.
And it's all about, well, we have actual parties for mums and we have panel talks and we have amazing women on. And so I'm doing talks with women in the arts, and obviously I thought of you straight away. But I was like, what's the chances of the time difference and this actually happening? So I'm kind of in shock. It's amazing.
I don't know why. Honestly, you're so ridiculous. You've known me for so long. If I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be there. It may not be like the way I'm not going to have all the like preliminary conversations about it. But I'm going to show up and I'm going to be there. I said I'd be there.
Yeah.
I'm here. Ta-da.
Well, I found a photo the other day, came up on my phone, of me on the plane, taking a picture out of the window on the wing going, I'm on the plane, but where's everyone else? And I was like,
rest, having a drink, relaxing, moisturizing.
Yeah, so basically, Damon's just come on. Damon's on.
Oh,
hi, Damon.
Legendary Damon. Hi, boo-boo.
So, yeah, I wanted you on because obviously you had kids before I did, even though I'm older than you. And I really admire the way that you dealt with that and touring and how hard it is for women on the road and women in music generally. But once you've got kids, it's a whole different ball game. And the things that we've been through on the road, taking kids out and all the rest of it, I was just like, I've got to get Kay on because no one really showcases mom life in that way. Do you know what I mean? It's just a very stereotypical thing normally. And when I became a mum, I didn't feel there was any representation of people like us. So that's what I'm trying to do here.
Well, yeah, you're right. So, and I think it's super dope that you do it, and it's so true. I think that, and this is such a perfect platform that you've built because it is such a, it's like the notion that like all of a sudden because you become a mom, like you're not fun anymore and you're not sexy anymore and you don't, like you don't do the things you used to do. Like all of that is such trash and it's such this like weird I don't even know who's perpetuating this retarded idea. It's probably a bunch of boring chicks, but the reality is, and men, but the point is that we are exactly, I'm just enhanced, right? Like I'm the same person I was. There's more of me now. I always say, as a mom, it just means I multiplied. That's it. It just shows the power of my like multifaceted octopusness, right? Like that's literally like, I'm juggling a billion things. And I think that it is important to showcase it. And, I think we are a good example, like I feel like the only other person I've ever seen, and not to say that it doesn't happen, but I saw, like, remember we used to always see Macy Gray with all her kids? And like, that to me is such a dope, like, why would I not want to bring my kids? Especially because we're in a place where we can, right? It's like, I'm grateful that like I can do that. But like, I want my kids to see who I am on every thread of it, like every, to the core. Like, and the only way they can do it is to see me working and to see me when I'm at my most creative and when I'm at my best and when I'm pushing forward, and I think that's really important.
You know what?
I think a lot of moms no, absolutely. Well, I think a lot of moms become mothers and it's like all of a sudden you have to become this like picture of what someone told you motherhood was.
Yeah.
And it's like, you and I didn't grow up like that anyway. Do you know what I mean? We grew up in a different era, and it's like my parents, like, my dad was a jazz musician. So like if my dad was playing at the Village Vanguard, I was the kid sleeping under the table. Now you'd be like, they'd be like taking your kids away, like from Child Protective Services. But I think like that's what made me the artist that I am. Do you know what I'm saying? And the woman that I am. And so for me, like I bring my kids everywhere. It's like they're safe because they're with me. Like that's literally hands down. They're never going to be better off without, you know what I mean? Like if they're not with me. So like for me to bring my kids and to show them my life and my lifestyle, I feel like that's sort of like, that's character building. And to me, it's better than like having to rely on someone else to like make them who they're supposed to be. Do you know what I mean? Like they need to see us working and see us doing what we do.
Definitely. And also I think I learned a lot about just how much love and affection when you first had Knight, that you used to like, we just used to love having him there. Like as a little baby, we were just kind of obsessed with him, weren't we?
100%. 100%. It doesn't change, right? It's like,
no.
First of all, you haven't seen him in a year. It's ridiculous. Like
he
I woke up one day and
the last time I saw
enormous.
him.
No,
he was like a teenager. I was like, "Are you releasing
big,
an album now?"
So big,
he looked like a
bass in
teenager.
his voice. It's ridiculous. It's insane. And
So
then
are they enjoying life on the farm?
Oh,
how's it all going?
They love it. They're like wild men. Like I'll just hear yelling, and like you'll see one dash by with no shirt on, like, and the other one's running behind him, like flailing a stick. And then now the baby is just like looking, and she's so ready and eager to like take off. And I told the boys, I'm like, you guys don't realize that your boss was just born. Like you don't realize that. They don't know. But it's funny because now they're both obsessed with her, and she's just ready. Now she's crawling, so like she takes off because she just wants to play with them. She's like, I want to go and like smack them in the face.
I've got a feeling she's going to be like your mom in character.
Probably. Yeah, probably. I think so. But like the new era version. So like not from the 50s where like they don't talk about anything and like keep all of their feelings bottled up. I think it's going to be more, she looks like my mom. She definitely has my mom's personality. She's like very strong-willed already. But yeah, like they're farm kids, you know, like Mike was literally on, I was like, you have to take her for a minute. Like I need a minute. So I handed him to her and he was on the tractor. And she like fell asleep to the lull of the tractor. I'm like, that's what we're dealing with here. So like, she's a farm baby for sure.
That's so cute. And I remember you telling me like when you were a kid, you used to go from New York out to the country to do farming. Like, was it in the summertime, like summer camp and stuff? Do you think?
Well, I used to go to a school that had a farm, and so for us to like get to each grade, like it got more and more as we got older. But like we'd have to spend like 2, maybe 3 weeks, I feel like, on the farm. I don't remember exactly how much time it was, but it was kind of like, it was like that. It was like we had to spend like a substantial amount of time on the farm each year. And that was part of like the thing. And it was dope because, you know, it's one of those things like you don't realize like how full circle life comes, right? Like everyone's like, it's so weird that you're like a farmer. I'm like, it's really not though. Like, you know, if you know me, you know, it's not that strange. And like, I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, it's the best.
Well, I knew it was going to happen because I grew up in farmland. Like that's how I grew up anyway. And then just the similarities between the way we've been brought up and our parents, and my dad was a chef and your mum was a chef, and all the cooking and all of that stuff is kind of just how we were brought up, I guess.
For sure.
So it's not shocking to me.
No, it's not shocking. People, like I said, people who don't know me think it's shocking, but people who know me know it's not weird at all. I was laughing the other day because we were missing one of our hens, and I'm like, I don't know where the hell she went. I'm like, it's so weird. And then, like, out of nowhere, she, like, flew out of the tree. And I was like, it's so funny because Nikki was telling me that, like, your mom and dad's chickens would, like, hang out in the trees. And I'm like, I've never heard that before. But, like, one of our hens
it's because I think wild hens can roost in trees, but farming and they overfeed them too quickly. They get too fat.
That's true.
To be able to fly.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's so true.
Yeah.
So she was just hanging out.
Oh, you've frozen. Come back.
I'm here. Can you see me?
All right, yeah. You were like, so now you've got 3 children. How is the juggle?
I mean, I really feel like once you have one, it's like whatever. I think the jump between no kids to having a kid, that's the big transition. I feel like once you have one, I could have 10 at this point. It's like, whatever. It
I
doesn't make
wish
that
we'd
much of a
started
difference.
earlier, mate. I wish we'd started
Honestly, babe, you
earlier.
know what? I do. Not that I would want to have them in my body. I hate being pregnant. You know that. It freaking sucks. I'm like, all the chicks that
I
love
love
it, I'm
being
like,
pregnant.
whatever. Oh, you're one of them. I always forget that because I'm like, I can't fat. It's so weird to me. Who
I know,
are
it's
you?
weird to me as well.
Oh, it's
I
so
loved
weird.
it. I
It's
mean, even though I
awful.
had a limp and my
I'm like,
teeth
yeah,
fell out, you know.
literally. I'm like, you were like crippled. I'm like, how was that fun for you? I'm like, what do you
I
mean?
know. I just love I love the feeling. I love the feeling of the baby kicking and all of that stuff. You're like,
I mean,
get
the
it out
kicking.
now.
No, the kicking is cool. I mean, that's cute because then you know
It's
it's
really
good.
cute.
But like, yeah, no, I hate it. I mean, there's no, I can't. I hate it. Everything about it. It sucks. I honestly, I love like the kicking. I love the cerebral side of it is one thing. Like knowing that
Yeah.
like your body is doing what it's supposed to do. Knowing that like every, that you're putting in what you to create this person. It's the physical side of it that I don't enjoy. I don't feel like my body was built to like share. So I'm not into it.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
And then,
I'm always out of breath. I'm like, I hate being short of breath. I hate feeling so freaking tired. You know me, I'm not a sleepy person. So being tired is irritating to me. And
yeah.
that's annoying. All of that's annoying. Like,
For anyone that
the
doesn't
heartburn
know,
is ridiculous. I've had literally the most god awful heartburn with every
oh
single
yeah, I
pregnancy.
never got that. I never
Oh
got
my
that at all.
God. It's like,
I think it's
eat a
because I only eat
cucumber and so you're gonna
vegetables, so
die.
there's nothing to like make it.
Oh, it's awful. You know what's funny though? What I do love is I love like knowing what I'm eating and eating really cautiously and really like mindfully, and then seeing who they become when they come out, because like what they like is so influenced by what you eat. So like I was eating so much fruit. I wanted everything tart and fruity. You know, I'm kind of a chocolate person.
I
So
know the last time, right? You were eating fruit on the floor
and
the
I
whole
couldn't
time.
stand chocolate. Like I was just like, ew, get it away. But I
Okay,
ate so much fruit.
can I just say that we were on tour last year in the beginning of March and doing
Yeah.
rehearsals in February, and this one was pregnant
Oh, I was
and
full
doing
throttle
full on
pregnant.
hour and a bit shows.
Oh yeah, I was all the
Absolute
way
soldier.
super pregnant. Yes, true. People don't know that. You're right. I was
Yeah.
totally pregnant and wanting to die. I was like, I'm freaking uncomfortable. I hated it. I have heartburn. I'm out of breath because someone's sitting on my lungs. But I
Oh
was
yeah,
eating
as
just
a
the
singer
fruit.
as well.
It's so
As a
hard.
singer, most people don't realize like how much it takes for the breath control, and like to get on stage for an hour is a full-on cardiovascular workout, isn't it?
You remember
So
we
when you're
toured with
pregnant,
Shep too. I toured when I was pregnant with Shepard also. I was
yeah,
on stage like 8 months pregnant. I was huge.
we
And I
did
was
Afro
performing.
Punk.
Yeah, we did.
Remember?
We sure did. It's hard.
Yeah.
People don't really think about that. But yeah, I think, the thing that I do appreciate is that if there were an upside to pregnancy, I think that like, even if you look at other women in history and like kind of some of the most iconic bodies of work by women have been done while pregnant. And so I think that there's definitely something to be said about carrying life and the power that it takes, and that I guess, I don't know if like summons, but it evokes such power. Like you have such power within yourself, but it also brings on this other level of strength and power and focus and creativity. So I think that's really interesting when you think about it.
I felt almost indestructible, like a soldier when I was pregnant. Like, I'm going to keep
100%.
DJing. I'm going to keep going. Just kept going until like 4 days before I gave birth.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think, you remember when I was pregnant with Night, it occurred to me, right? And I was like, I was pregnant with Night and I was, having a crazy hard time with all the other stuff that was happening in my life. And I remember so distinctly thinking to myself, like, it just was like a light bulb came on. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, there's no Nobel Peace Prize or like any kind of accolade that you could get that in that moment would quantify the fact that like over half of the world's population can create life within their body. And it occurred to me at that moment that like that's where the power is. Like the balance in the world comes from the fact that like men think they rule the world, which is like fine at this point because like who gives a crap, like who cares? But it's because you can't make life. Like that's a power that like you'll literally never have. Like I can win a Nobel Peace Prize and I can have a baby, so suck it. Like like
Suck it, Nobel Peace Prize.
I can actually make a person. Like what? That's like done. Like
and on that note, Didn't you write a cappella about Night? You wrote a cappella about Night.
But you know what? I actually wrote a cappella about my relationship with God, and the personification of that I think was having a child, but it was really about like finding my creator in this process, because it was that for me was such a like, there's a very visceral kind of like element to being pregnant, to creating life. Like I said, it's this like carnal, you know, it's this thing that's been happening since the beginning of time, right? And so it's like there's a very animalistic side to it. And so I felt like, I think not that I found God, but that like I was still enough in order to recognize that he had found me. And I think that's really what the song is about. And it happened that it was because I was pregnant, if that makes sense, you know?
Do you feel like you changed at all when after you had Night? Because I know what I think.
What do you think?
Well, you became a lot nicer. That's all I'm saying.
So?
Oh yeah, you had like way more empathy. You became like
empathy, yes. I don't think I became nicer. I think I definitely became.
You were always nice. You just became a bit nicer.
No, I think it's the empathy is a real thing, though. I think that like having Night, it reminded me. I think for the first time, not even reminding me. For the first time, I think I was able to really recognize that like every asshole has a mom. Period.
That's
every
exactly
dickhead you meet has a mom, and so like for me, it made it very human. Whereas before, I was just like, this guy's the worst guy ever. He needs to go away and never return back ever. Whereas now it's like I still feel like that, but I'm like, there's a mom who loves him. So it makes me a little bit more like...
You're like way more patient and more accepting of people, I think. Me too,
Probably.
because when we were younger, we didn't take no shit from anyone. Like,
but I think that's, I don't know that that's like a childbirth thing. I think it was also like, I had Night at 29 and, you know, his birthday's July and then I turned 30. So I think it's also like, I think it's a combination of empathy for sure in having a child. And then I think also just growing up. Do you know what I mean? Because like I feel like I'm exactly the same person. I do have more patience. I think that comes with age. And the empathy 100% is from being pregnant and having a child and realizing like everyone has a mother that loves them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the worst guy. Think about it. You go to like, whether it's a freaking prison, who's always there? It's a mother, it's a wife, it's a girlfriend, it's a sister. It's always a woman sort of like, we are able to love the unlovable, right? And we're able to love in the midst of the worst scenarios, which pregnancy is, to me, one of them. So like, you know what I mean? I think that's definitely something that like all of that, the whole culmination of that and me turning 30, that all sort of like came at one sort of flood, one time.
Well, I loved you from day one, ride or die. But we were quite crazy when we were younger.
We were fun, man. Honestly, we had so much fun. I think about all the time, like we had so much fun.
Listen, we're still fun, mate.
Yeah.
If you bring out the Hennessy and a good red wine, we are fun times still, mate.
Fun times. I feel like I'm still freaking fun. I'm like, I'm fun. Wine, no wine, party by myself. I have a good old time, okay?
I think, you know what? I think that's also real similarity in why we've been friends so long is because we both got this, like, Damon calls us bros, right? Because we just get on with it. Whatever's thrown at us, we're like, okay, this is what we're going to do to deal with it kind of thing. But we're both quite, not like fakey schmakey happy, kumbaya happy, but we're both quite positive, I think. Definitely not that. We're both quite positive.
That's true. No, it's true. I think it is definitely about an outlook and about perspective. And I think like we are two women that came up in a time when it was very, like, it was super male dominated. Yeah. And like, not only did you have to be great to prove yourself, but you had to have chops. Like you also have to have thick skin and like real like balls. You know what I mean? It's, oh my God, you will die. So my mother, we were somewhere, we were at Home Depot, obviously, which is like one of my favorite places. And my mom said something and like, she gets so annoyed because she's like, all the men in here are useless. She's like, they're all retarded, all stupid. She goes, hey guy, I've got your balls. She literally says that. It made me laugh. It made me think of you and I. I'm like, she's like, yeah, well, this guy's over here. Well, I've got his balls.
That's why she's one of my favorite people.
I know.
I love myself some Eve.
She's like,
but yeah, you're right. We did come up in a time where it was like we were. I mean, I was one of the only women DJ, and you were in there with all these male artists, producing, co-producing, writing. Like you had to stand your ground. So
especially,
there's a different thing about coming 100%. Up in that time, I think.
100%. And we, you know, it's funny, like, we didn't come up in an era where, like, you know, Me Too wasn't a thing. And it's funny because I have, you know, you and I have talked about, I always have an issue sort of like, I have mixed emotions, right? Like on one level, it's like, yes, like, obviously all of the actions that have happened, you know, are unacceptable and they're ridiculous and they should not be tolerated. There's another side of me though that's like, what woman, any woman over the age of 35 that's been in business of any kind has been sexually harassed, has been approached inappropriately, has had to put up with all kinds of ridiculous, absolutely disrespectful nonsense just to even be present, right? So it's kind of like, I don't know, I guess I'm always sort of, what's the word? We're tougher. And it's not, and this is nothing, this is in no way, shape, or form to like discredit the fact that like times are different now and we have the right to say this is unacceptable. But there is something to say that like those that thrived and survived in an era where like that didn't happen if you wanted the job, like you just suck it up and you just freaking push through. And you know what I mean? Like you finagle the situation. Like we're a tougher breed of woman. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. Like it's not the politically correct thing to say, but it's the freaking truth. Like it's the truth. You know what I mean? We're tough as nails. I'm like, what scenario are you not freaking sexually harassed? Like, and what, like, what does that even look like? Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's a constant freaking thing. Just having a vagina and being present. It's like, do you know what I mean? You now open yourself up for freaking like, whereas now it's like, you know, it's unacceptable and men are afraid to say things, which they should be. But like, it's just a different, I think it's a different caliber of human that came up when we came up for sure.
Yeah, hence why we
people don't like when I say it, but it's true.
It's hence why we've broken so many tour managers, I think, Kay.
Oh, they've all been broken. And if they weren't, then it's like, you're not for me.
It will be soon.
Yeah, I'm like, because you are going to be broken. We will break you.
And we'll beat you at baseball as well. How about that?
Yes, exactly.
And we'll. What was that thing you did with the other with that tour? That time I absolutely tapped out. I said, "No way." You knocked on my door one morning on tour and you said, "Hi, we're going bridge jumping today."
Oh,
and
we
I
were
was
in Bulgaria.
like, absolutely
we were in Bulgaria.
not.
So we went whitewater
Absolutely
rafting, and then like the finale of the whitewater rafting day was to go bridge jumping, which was super fun. And you definitely were like, "I'm not doing that." Which, by the way, that happens. But that's it. First of all, though, there are so many instances where I'm like, "We're going grappling, and we're going." Like,
we're gonna wrestle. We're going sumo wrestling, Nikki, and I'm like,
we're gonna go deep sea diving for sea urchin.
Quite often you lie to me though, and you're like, "Oh, we're just gonna go here," and then
well, I'm not stupid.
We turn up at like a ski slope or something.
I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go for Hennessy and Coca-Cola.
I'm in.
Okay? Right, and then yes, we're like parasailing.
Deep sea diving. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I'm sure loads of people's dream would be to do stuff like that with you, but I'm just like,
not sure.
No thanks, mate. I'm not in it. So I want to talk a bit about style, because you've been known for your style from day dot. And you obviously, I mean, I know you've just got intrinsic style. It's in you. I know the reasons why, obviously, like how you're brought up, Eve, all the rest of it. But what would you say are your style inspos? Like who or what?
I mean, I don't know that there's like a person. I always feel like it's like, I grew up in New York. Do you know what I mean? I grew up in Harlem in the 90s, and like, that's just like
Music.
what it was.
Yeah,
it's just like
everything that's around.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was just like, I don't know. I think I also like, I love like certain eras. Like, I feel like women in certain eras just looked so like, whether it's like the 20s or the 40s, or you think about the 60s, like I just love how we're able to, as women, I think it's such a gift to be able to express ourselves through our clothes. Like, I feel like that's something men don't have, right? Like, I'm not really interested in like super well-dressed men. You know how I feel about that. I'm like, it's like too much. Like, honestly, like I'm not sharing mirror time or I don't want to talk about what I don't care about what you're wearing. I actually don't care, right? I'm like, I care about men's fashion. I care about men's fashion is very boring to me. It's just the fact. That's how I feel. So I feel
Plus,
like
I kind of like a builder dude or something. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
we both like those
I like
kind
them rough and tumble. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Yeah, I'm like, well, like, what's your function in that outfit? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what
How much can you lift?
Can you build something?
What
can you make? Can you push the car? Like, what can you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Does the engine go faster because you're wearing that? I don't know. I'm like, well, I don't care about men's fashion. I'm not interested. So for me, I think the thing that I love about fashion and just over the eras and over the generations is the fact that like women's fashion to me always like it empowers us, and it always shows the function of like what we're doing. So whether it's like a suit or like whatever it was always to overcome something. It was always to like conquer something. Do you know what I mean? Like I love that. I love like whether it's like warrior armor or like I said, like a flapper. It's always to like sort of like embody what women are in that time. And to me, that's so dope. And it's like that's such a sexy and sort of powerful, like it's a tool. Do you know what I mean? And so like for me, what's inspired me the most has been like looking at women over the generations and seeing like, oh, like, yo, that was dope. Like women used to wear this, or this is what was happening in history at this time. So like, this is how women dressed. You know what I mean? Like whether it's like during the war and all the men going out to war, so the women had to take over and still run the country. What did it look like? You know what I mean? I love, like, that to me is so dope. It's fly to be able to like have that be an inspiration. it's never really like a person. It's more like, it's a vibe. And it's like, you know, kind of like, what was the function?
Well,
like, what were we doing?
I think what's quite interesting for people to know on this point is that when we put shows together on the road, you'll text me saying, okay, this is what I'm feeling. And it will be more about wardrobe and eras and vibes, like Studio 54 meets Ghostface Killer. You'll be like, do you know what I mean? And I'll be like,
I'm like,
okay,
go.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I got it.
Here's the
I know
inspiration.
exactly what you mean.
Do it. Yeah. You totally get it. I'm like, we're thinking like, you know, medieval goth meets like 90s hip hop. Run with it.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I've got you. And then we go and do the show.
And we show up with outfits that are like, it's ridiculous
identical.
How they actually all go together.
Every single time. So we never talk about what we're going to wear for the show. And every single show we match, or we're wearing the same colors or the same sparkly boots.
Always.
Or the same makeup or something. And we travel together, obviously. But Kelis never's like, you have to wear this, or like, this is the vibe of the show. She's not that kind of person, are you?
No, I also...
Not with me, anyway.
No, I don't think that, like, how do I put this? I'm not a politically correct person. It's hard. I'm like, and I'm talking to you, I'm like, I can't even, like, be professional. I think, like, I don't understand people that don't have personal style. Like, I have a hard time relating to them, because I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, like, you don't know how to express yourself in your clothing. I'm confused by that. Like, what does that mean?
Me too.
Like, who are you? What are you trying to say? I'm like, I don't understand it. So everyone that ends up working with me, or like that's on stage with me, usually for the most part, they've got their own thing. It doesn't have to be my thing. I like people that have their own thing. I'm like, I want you to have your own thing. I don't want you to look like me because I look like me. But it's like, I want to be able to get who you are without you speaking, right? It's like, people know who I am, or a part of who I am based on what I'm wearing. Huh?
Just speak less.
Just
wear something cute and speak less.
Yeah. I'm like, we want to see it, not hear it, okay? No.
Yeah.
I'm like...
That's why...
but I respect people that have like a vibe, like a style. Like, you know, because to me, that makes me feel like you know who you are. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, without... Like, I shouldn't have to be like, hey, like, wear that or don't wear that. Or, you know what I mean? It's like, usually... Yeah. And like I said, I'll do the same thing. I'll be like, this is the vibe. Like, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like 70s, you know, like, Black empowerment, like, this is the vibe, go. Or I'm feeling like, you know what I mean, like, whatever, like, that sort of, I don't want to have to, like, dress children, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is what it is.
And you've always been like that, and I came out like that too, because I found pictures of me at 4 and 5 standing up against a speaker with my hand on it like this, as if I'm at carnival, wearing a beret, a big tutu and a polo neck. And I'm like, I'm 4 years old. I picked out this outfit.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically who I was. And you're exactly the same, I think.
100%. 100%.
So
my mom
when you
always
were,
says,
you know, when you first came out, your first record, and did you have the green hair then on the first
one? No, my
one?
first record hair was pink when it first came out.
So when you were doing all that, did you have any idea how big that impact was going to be? Or were you just like, I feel like pink hair to be? No idea.
No idea. No clue.
And I feel like to this day, people still don't give the recognition that you deserve for all of that era and fashion and influencing everyone around that time.
I think it's because I'm a horrible self-promoter. I'm really bad at, like, staking my claim in that kind of thing because it's
Me
not
too.
for other people and I don't really care if they recognize it. So
Yeah.
often, like, I did a photo shoot the other day and they were like, we want you to talk to the stylist. And I was like, well, I don't, obviously, I'm going to wear my own stuff. And the girl was like, she asked me, she's like, okay, so what do you have? And I was talking to her and I was just like, oh, well, I was thinking about, you know, I think I'm going to wear this. I think I'm going to wear that. And she was like, oh, so you really like fashion. And I wanted to hang up the phone. I was like, this bitch, like, I cannot. I was so irritated because I was just like, how, and literally I was like, how old are you? And I had to ask her because I was just like, you got to be under, like, how old are you? Because, like, are you under a rock? Like, I don't understand. So, like, for me, I feel like I don't ever, like, number one, I don't stay with one style long enough to claim it. It's very much like, I do it, I get it out of my system, and then I'm on to the next thing. And I think a lot of times, like, to be able to really claim something as, like, I started this, you have to stick with it. I'm not good at that. I'm like, I'm over it. By the time people figure it out, I'm like, I'm on to something else.
I do
so that's
the
just
same.
kind of been what it is. It's like, that's been my whole career. I'm you know, I'm consistently inconsistent. So, like,
I'm exactly the same with DJ stuff. If I play somewhere and then I'm like, I was in Ibiza, late 90s, early 2000s, then I'm over that. Or I'm in Marbella before anyone else did it. And now I'm over it. I don't want to go back there and do that.
But then
So
also, too, it's my own personal validation, just that, like, you know, like, that we always joke, like, still got it. Like, it's one of those things, like, I've been doing this for 20 years. And the fact that, like, chicks are doing stuff like it's brand new that I did 20 years ago, and they don't really realize that, like, it's one thing to say, like, I'm going to do something that's inspired by, like, something from the 20s. Like, everyone's dead. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still here. Like, the fact that they don't understand that just means that they're not that cool and they're not doing their research and they don't know what the hell's going on. And so that,
not
to me,
informed.
is like, that's corny. I'm like, that's stupid. Like,
yeah, because there was something about, like, when we were younger and we had to go and buy records or, like, do our research, and we didn't come from that era, but we knew about Earth, Wind and Fire. We knew about Marvin Gaye.
Right.
We knew about Duke Ellington. We knew about Buddy Rich. We knew about all these jazz musicians
100%.
that come before us that weren't specifically our taste or what we were listening to, but we knew all this music. Now you'll be lucky if people know about something like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and all the greats, you know?
Which is why, when you think about it, everything's sort of like, I mean, people get mad at me when I say this, and it's not, I genuinely want to like new stuff. I really do. You know me. Like, I want to be excited by stuff. I'm an artist. I'm a creator. So for me, all I want is to be excited by something new and interesting, right? And it's, the problem is that because of the nature of the world right now, everything is so watered down. So with every passing, with every generation, it becomes more and more watered down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all like, it just is what it is, you know? And it's like, the more watered down it gets, the less potent it is, the less interesting it is, the less real it is, the less time it lasts, and the less interested I am. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's just like,
on a practical level in the UK, like, we used to have so much culture that came through clubs like punk and all these different genres that sort of were bubbling under the surface. And probably you guys in America as well, things come through club culture, right? But in the UK, 70% of our clubs have closed in the last decade. So where are kids going to, like, actually practice their craft? They're not.
But here's the other thing, babe. It's the fact that, like, this goes across the board, right? It doesn't matter if it's sports, it doesn't matter if it's fashion, music, art, whatever the medium is. Like, we had to work for it. And the beauty of, it's like you had to earn it. To even find the club that's in the hole, behind the hole, behind the hole in the wall, that, like, you know what I'm saying? We had to earn it. Someone had to trust you to even tell you where it was. The problem is that now, because, and listen, I'm not a social media hater. Like, I love social media and what the positive side of it is. But the downside of it is the fact that, like, it's made people who are unworthy privy to information that they shouldn't be privy to. So it's like, before, if you found a new artist, like, you had to, and yeah, that artist wouldn't make as much money as they can make now, but they had to, like, you had to work and you had to physically, like, tell someone, like, yo, you got to check this dude out. You got to check this chick out. She's dope. And then that had to go organically, person to person, to then find out what they're performing. Right. Now it's on Instagram. So this freaking jackass who doesn't deserve it in some, like, ridiculous city that would have never even known this is cool is all of a sudden now looking at, like, oh, how many people are following? Oh, baby, this is cool. They don't deserve it. It's like, you don't deserve the art. Art needs to be earned. It needs to be, and that's what makes it quality, because you have to fight. You have to fight to make it. You have to fight to get it, and it doesn't exist anymore.
Also,
It's
I
just
think
the
the word
facts.
artist is bandied around far too
Oh,
much.
girl,
Like
bye.
there's
You already
singers,
know. Listen,
there's
the word artist,
entertainers,
it's like the word
but
love.
most
It
people
gets
don't
too
even,
damn
they
easily.
don't write their own music or like style
Well,
themselves. You can't be an
the
artist unless
word
you do these
artist
things.
is like a joke. Okay, I'm like, you don't. And there's no disrespect. There's no difference between like, or there's a huge difference rather between like performer, artist, a singer.
Entertainer.
You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
vocalist, an entertainer. Yeah, you're right. An entertainer, like versus artist. Like that's people. But guess what? Who knows the difference? No one. No one knows the difference. They don't want to talk about it. They're like, oh, I'm an artist. Is it? I'm like, is it? Is that what we're calling art? Okay, I guess. I'm like, eh. And it's not because I hate new stuff. I want to love new stuff. I do. I'm like, I'm
Me
an
too.
artist. Why would an artist not want to love new stuff? Like we want to see the new stuff. We want to see the creative stuff. I want to see this. I want to see the pull and the struggle and the like. That's what creates beautiful stuff. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
want to
Like,
be vibrating on a higher level, basically.
yes.
But then I'm on TikTok going, what the hell's going on?
Being like, shoot me in the face. I see one more choreographed freaking
Ah!
dance.
So,
I swear.
to get back to, I won't shoot you in the face, but I'm going to ask you another mum question. Yeah, I was going to ask you what your advice would be to a mum who's lost their mojo.
Huh, that's a good question, Nick.
This is not my first rodeo,
I'm like, that's a
Americans.
good one. A mom who's lost her mojo. Okay. Well, I think the first thing is to assess what the mojo is, right, for each person, because for each mom it's going to be different. But I think ultimately we have to allow ourselves, like we have to, like I said, I think there are so many social compounds that are put on us as mothers as to like what's acceptable, what makes a good mom. And like, I'm a firm believer, and you know me, you know this. I need to be happy with myself in order to be the mother that I want to be, right? And like, that takes work. Like, it takes work to be like, you know what, guys? Mama needs some time. Or I'm going to leave you with your dad. Or I'm going to go leave you with granny. Or whatever it is that I'm going to do for a weekend because I need a moment where I have my own thoughts. And that does not make me a bad mom. It doesn't make me like, it's okay. It's okay to say like, I don't even know what sexy feels like anymore. Let me explore that. Let me figure that out because like no one can tell me that. And I don't want some other chick sexy to be my sexy either. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I need to figure out like for me. And listen, I think as moms, we are all at risk of losing our mojo on a daily basis because this shit is
Yeah.
exhausting. Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. We work our asses off. We are expected to be freaking judge, jury, priest, freaking doctor. Like we have to be all these things all day long, right? With all the emotions that our kids have and
And
our jobs require from us and all this stuff, right?
and quite often breadwinners, providers, all of it.
100%. 100%. So I think to be able to say like, number one, so for me, I'll tell you what my thing is, right? For me, the things that I recognize that I need in order to feel like me, and it's a full thing. First off, for me to be like calm and sane, my morning time is really important to me, right? So like I make sure that I have to get, and listen, this is all part of like self-maintenance. I get up earlier than my kids get up because I know that once that gets cracking, there is not a single moment where I'm going to have like to even like, do you know what I'm saying? Like anything. I can't do jack once they're all up. So it's like, okay, I have 3 kids. I need to get up before them. So I'm like, I know what time they get up. Even if it's like 30 minutes, I get up. I make sure that I'm alert, that I'm awake. I take my time to read. I take my time to pray. For me, that's what I do. I pray. I focus. I don't pick up my phone yet because that also is another thing. It's like having children. Like all of a sudden now I'm answering emails. I'm putting out fires. I'm freaking juggling. I don't pick up my phone. I'm like, I need a moment just to like gather myself. What is my intention for the day? What am I trying to get done today? Am I trying? Because some days I'm like, you know what? I have no intention on being productive today. Like, I have nothing to give today. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but knowing, like, taking that moment in the morning to be like, okay, let me like pray, let me center myself, let me like do whatever it is I need to do, gather my thoughts so that I can then be the mom that I need to be. And then also really like, listen, I get the fact that like I have space, physical space here, but it is so important as a woman, I think, to block out a space that's just yours. I don't care if it's a closet. I don't care if it's a freaking like, it could be anything. It could be a corner of the house, whatever it is, where it's like, the kids know, your husband knows, your man knows, your nanny knows, your mom knows, whoever it is that's in your life knows this is your space. So when you put something down there, it's freaking there when you get back, right? Like it's no one's picking it up, no one, because girl, you already know, you put something down and it's like all these little hands are like, what the, I just freaking put it down. Like, why is it not here? I can't find it. It drives me crazy. Right?
I
so
love
like,
the little hands.
all the little hands, and then it's sticky. It's like, it's right. You're like, why is it sticky? I don't understand. So like finding a space that's just yours where you can go. And if you need to go for a moment, I have no problem being like, yo, you know what? I'm going to like, I need, guys, I'll be right back. I'll go into my room, I'll go into my space, and I'm like, okay, sometimes I just need a deep breath and I need silence so I can have thoughts of my own. It might be freaking literally 5 minutes. You know, I'm not saying it's like long drawn out, but it's like where the kids know, my husband knows, leave her alone. She needs a minute. And I'm not stressed. It's just like, it's a moment. It's like, I feel like I'm entitled to that. I'm entitled to go and take that time. Also, I feel like putting on jewelry is something for me that, like, you already know, that makes me feel like me. I am very, like my accessories, my things that like make me feel like I feel pretty even when I know that my clothes looks crazy and I'm not making any real effort to put on pants that are not stretchy and all the, you know what I'm saying? Like putting on my jewelry, putting on a red lip, like that kind of stuff definitely like helps me get back to myself. It's really about doing stuff that just whatever it is that makes you feel like you. Sometimes it's just reading a book, knowing that I'm just going to take, like, even when all the kids go to bed, I'm going to read a book or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that those things to get your go back. But you know, I love a housewife situation. Yeah, I'm like all those, like all the things, whether it's watching some trash TV, or I think also too, just like getting dressed up. I died when I literally was so tickled and it was so funny to me when you did that whole, it was the whole bit of you and all your friends like taking out the trash dressed up. That was freaking hilarious, first of all. But I was like,
Moms at Rave.
It was hilarious. I was like, that is so funny. And it's so important though, because like, especially like think about COVID, right? Like I've been literally in leggings and sweatpants for a year. So like getting dressed up, you know, we talk about this all the time. Like, how do I get on stage? Like, what do I even wear? What do I do? Like, I feel like, what do I kind of like, it's such a nice reminder when you dress up.
Also,
this is what I feel like.
When we go on tour and dress up, that is our sort of party time away from the kids
100%.
as well, to a certain extent.
100%. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when I'm alone in a hotel room for 4 hours, even if we're only there for 4 hours to sleep, it's still 4 hours of luxurious sleep on my own.
Totally. With no guilt. With no guilt, with no stress.
No one else
will
have to like, And then, you know, the fact that we get to dress up like that, I guess has kept us sane as well.
You know what? It's so funny. There's this, I don't know if you guys get this show out there. It's this ridiculous show called Bridezilla. Do you guys have that? Hey, Harley. Hi. How big are you? Oh my God.
Massive.
Little face.
You want to wave to everyone? Say hi.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
Oh my goodness.
Can you go and play your Nintendo Switch again? Yeah?
So cute.
Checking how's it doing?
How we doing? We're doing all right, thanks.
Okay.
So funny.
Just checking how we're doing, Kay.
I love it. No, listen, they check up on us. It's so funny.
Just making sure we're all right.
Oh yeah, totally. They would totally check up. So funny. So I think it's this show. It's called Bridezilla, and it makes me laugh because it's just one day that women get, right? And it's like that's why they coined it Bridezilla, which is whatever. But like it made me laugh one day because I was like, you know what? Because everyone's like, oh, I'm sure you were a Bridezilla. I was like, I actually was not at all.
Not at all.
And the reason why is because my wedding is like every night we get on stage. It's all about me. It's about what the hell I want to wear. I'm getting dressed up. It's about that special moment between me connecting in that time, in that space, right? Being really present. And so I think you're so right. I think that it's so important for us as women to take time to like, just have your beauty moment. Like, just do you. I don't care if it's like get dressed up to like, and I love that you do that. You get dressed up to take a picture. Just like, this is about me. It's about my time. It's about me feeling like a woman. It's about me doing the things that make me feel pretty so that then I can be available. Because unlike anybody else, we as women, as mothers, as wives, as significant others, whatever, we take on everybody's stuff and we do it well. It doesn't mean though that like there's not any need to like replenish and like sort of resuscitate our own like energy, you know? And so like it is so like our stage time is such a kind of cathartic and therapeutic like time, you know?
You told me that that's why I was never in a hurry to get married and I wasn't bothered about organizing a wedding. You're like, because you do it all the time. You dress up on stage all the time.
All the time.
You get to wear what you want and you express yourself like that all the time. So why you wouldn't be bothered about like the dress or the wedding day. And I was like, oh yeah, because I've thrown so many parties as well. So I'm like, the last thing I want to do is friggin' organize a guest list for a wedding.
We're also not those kinds of chicks either, where it's like,
no,
we're just not. But it's so true. It's very like, we're good at taking care of ourselves. And I think that's a really important thing. I think as a mom, we're constantly taking care of everybody. So like, for me, like, you know, putting on like lipstick or doing my eyebrows or like doing my nails. Like my kids know if it's nail time, like I'm not worried about nobody else. I'm like, go handle your life. Like I'm getting my whole life together. Or like whatever it is that I choose to do like in that week to make sure that I feel like me, like I don't feel bad about it. I have zero guilt. I have no qualms. I'm like, go talk to your father. Because
yeah, you've always been really good at that. You've always been very good at that. And
yeah, and I don't feel bad. I'm like, I'm a good mom. I'm like, I'm freaking focused. I take care of those suckers. I'm like, I love you guys with every ounce of my being. Doesn't mean that I can't freaking love myself too. Like I need to like go do something for my hair. I need a hair mask. It might take me 2 hours. I might, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's me. That's for me. That's my hair.
You know what I miss about my trips to LA with you? Koreatown. And the spas.
Girl, I
we have
so much because of freaking COVID.
We always joked that we were going to write a book about spas of the world, right? Because
I've been saying it forever.
We go to spas and so basically that's our after party, isn't it? After we come off stage, we go to the steam room or the sauna and we basically talk for hours.
Oh yeah, no, we don't do sloppy drunks. Like that's not happening.
No.
We do like keep the sauna open, please.
Keep the sauna open and let's find a luxurious spa.
Yeah, we're going to go tear the house down, get this party started, and then I want to
Nothing comes close to Koreatown.
Nothing.
The world over.
Nothing. Oh, there's nothing like it. Literally, like, the only place that I've ever been that the spa was as special an experience on that level was Turkey, was in Istanbul.
Oh, yeah. They don't play.
That's the only place. Recently, I went to in Hawaii. Oh yeah, that's a Russian banyan room where they beat you. I don't know about that. I'm not so into that. I'm like, I will hit you back.
I mean, at this stage, I can get love.
Yeah, I'm like, I've done that. You know me. I'm like, I don't know about that. But no, like the spa, it is about care, self-preservation, sort of like, and I think also as a mom, like knowing yourself well enough to know like, I'm not going to be good for everybody right now if I don't like take care of me for a moment. And like I said, it doesn't have to be like a long drawn out thing, but it's like I'm entitled to a moment for me. And the spa is definitely like, I love it. I want to steam, I want a sauna, I want to put my body in all kinds of different waters and minerals.
Oh yeah.
I want all
we are world expert spas.
Oh,
spas.
for sure.
What's the plural for that if you go to spas a lot? Spa ladies.
We are spa ladies.
We are world experts.
We are.
And I tell you what else you love, which I do not love. I did in Ibiza or Formentera once, is the mud flats.
Oh, I love.
Especially when the mud dries on your skin in the heat. It feels like you're getting second-degree burns.
It's because you're white. But here's the thing. When you rinse off after,
here we go.
That mineral rich, like, that mud. Oh, I love it.
No.
I was just talking about some mud the other day. I was like, I gotta get me in some mud. Oh, I love it. Oh, it's so good.
You love the Iceland mud?
Love.
You loved, where was it? We were when, Cape Verde, you loved the mud there?
Cape Verde, I love the mud in Fiji. Girl, if there's a mud situation, I will find it and I will put my body in it. I have special bathing suits specifically for it. I'm like, this is my mudding bathing suit.
I do not, and I do not intend on coming to the mud ever. It's the worst thing. Then, do you remember
it's so luxurious.
In Formentera, we had to walk through all this long grass to get to the mud flats, which was like cutting your legs to pieces. And then you had to get back in a boat through the sea You have to
Oh yes,
jump in the
someone
sea
just
and then
said the
get.
mud salt industry. Yeah, the mud salt in Israel is ridiculous. That's some of the best actually in the world, I would say for sure. The Dead Sea salt, which I have tons of it. I use it. I make scrubs with it. I love all that mud,
I
the
like that
salt.
when it's in a packet and
I
it's
love
in my
it.
house. You got me
Hilarious.
some from the Dead Sea because I
Yeah,
left before the mud flats, thank God.
so
But
good.
yeah. Okay, so people know about our spa antics now. My last two sort of long questions. How do you stay happy and positive? Because we are both sarcastic, but we're both
Very.
actually quite positive as well, I think. How have you stayed positive in the last year with all the craziness going on in the world?
I think number one, I'm never surprised. I think that's the first thing. So for me to be positive in a situation that didn't catch me off guard, I think that definitely makes a difference. My faith for sure is the number one sort of like, it is my foundation. And kind of, it is the cornerstone of like my frame of thought, right? So like I look at everything through these goggles of understanding how the world operates based through my faith, right? So that's the main thing. I think under that though, it's really kind of like we're in a business too where it's like I can't be too precious about stuff. It's sort of just like it is what it is, and I'm a big picture kind of person. So like the day may not be going great, the world might be falling apart, but I'm healthy, my kids are good, and it's given me an opportunity to like do better today. So I feel like I'm positive because like I accept what I can't control. I think
Yeah.
that's the other thing. I accept what I can't control. I'm not one of those people, as much as I do like having control in general, I'm
Yeah,
not
me
someone
too.
who, but you know what I mean? There's a difference between being in control of yourself and of the things that immediately pertain to you versus like wanting to control everybody else and everything else.
Yeah.
I don't really have any care for everything else and everybody else. It's about me and myself, right? So like I can control myself and like how I react to certain things and how I handle people and how I allow things in the world that are happening or things that are happening around me to affect my day. I am a big believer in tomorrow's not promised to us. And so like, I'm really genuinely grateful. Like I love my life. I really do. I don't have any regrets. Not to say that I couldn't have done things better or differently, but just that like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm positive because I feel like I don't believe in coincidence. I think everything happens for a reason. And I have no problem holding myself responsible for the things that I've done that weren't right. So I don't feel any kind of like, I'm not one to like blame people. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, I'm positive because I feel like I'm okay with living with choices that I've made and sort of seeing things from the bigger picture. Like I can only control what I can control. So like, yeah, things might be hard. Yeah, this has been a really crazy year for me personally. You know that. I think being able to say like, I'm grateful for this moment. I'm a very present person. You know that. Like, I never have FOMO. I'm not the kind of person that like, I'm not on my phone all day. I
Yeah.
don't really care about what other people are doing. I think that's a big part of it too.
Do you know what?
We're not affected by the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like someone
Yeah.
else's whatever or what. It's just not my existence.
Well, because most of the time we don't actually give a shit.
I don't. We don't. We never. You
No.
and I never do. I think that's why we've been friends for so long too. It's like I can
And even
genuinely
back
care
in the
about you
day, we were
and not
not
be
thirsty
worried. Yeah.
bitches. We were not thirsty. We were
Never.
just like, we're the party over here, so you can come and join us or whatever. We don't care what you're doing. That was our attitude.
100%. 100%.
And
I think it allows you to be positive though, because you're not like, it comes from within. It's not
constantly
looking outward for all
watching
the
other people.
Right.
Yeah.
I think people
Yeah,
have a
it
hard
comes
time being
from,
positive because they're allowing so many other things to infiltrate their day. I really
yeah.
value my day. Like like I told you, I wake up in the morning, I spend time with myself. Every moment in that day, I try to make matter. I don't have any like wasteful moments. Do you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? Like even if I'm just like literally like doing nothing, I'm like, I chose that moment. And like, I'm like expecting to get something back from it that you know what I mean? So I feel like that's
Well, also, you have a good 22 hours in a day. So that makes things,
oh, because
you
I
know,
sleep that much. Right?
Kelis sleeps like 2 hours a day at the most. I like to sleep a good 8 hours a day, which drives her absolutely nuts.
It
on
drives
tour.
me mental.
I'm like, don't tell her what
understand.
room
I'm like,
I'm in.
wake
She'll call the phone.
up. I'm like, what? You're missing the day. I'm like,
I'm switching my phone off.
It's been
like
it's been
4
literally
a.m. Are you
2
up?
decades
Are
of
you
friendship.
5
Me
a.m.
like,
Are you up?
I'm waiting
What's
for her
wrong
to
with
wake
you?
up.
Where are you?
Okay,
5
well.
a.m. It's 5 a.m.
Mike just said that to me yesterday. He's like, yeah, but you're up at 6 regardless. I'm like, well, the sun is up.
I do get up, like when it's summer, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day, which is very annoying. But then I go to bed early, not like you. I won't be up watching like Real Housewives at 1 a.m.
You know what's funny? There's this, I just was watching this thing and I'm working on this project and it was talking about the Navajo Native Americans, right? And a practice that they have in their culture and in one particular tribe within the greater tribe, it's customary for them to wake up in the morning to like greet the sun, right? And like to sort of show that they're not lazy and that they're not taking it for granted that they have another day.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously like, that's like very specific to them. But when I heard that, I was like, what a wonderful sort of like
analogy.
You know what I mean? Like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I genuinely am like, thank you. I'm like, I thank y'all for another day. And I'm grateful that like, I'm up with the sun. It's another day. It's like, that's dope.
Don't
I'm like,
you think
I could have died in my sleep. I'm like, I'm so grateful that like I'm up,
oh,
you know? Like
such a happy thought, Kay.
It is, girl. Listen, I got another day. I'm like, I got another day put on my lips. Another day put
I didn't
hair.
die.
Like,
I didn't die in my sleep. Bogle. What was I going to say? Don't you think that when you've got kids as well, every time you look at their faces, you're just like, oh, I'm so lucky. That's how I feel. Like you just look at their faces.
So I can't. I'm still one of. I'm like I look at them and I'm like I cannot believe that I've been given these 3 people. I feel like our children are on loan to us because they're their own people. They come out as they are. You know that as a mom. You know what I mean? Like that whole concept, like nurture versus nature. We've talked about it a million times. They come out like that. They're like, this is who I am. I've known each and every one of my children, even in utero. I'm like, this is like you're exactly who you were when you were in my belly. Like, so I look at them and I'm just like, I can't believe that like I was trusted with this precious person. It is such a gift, and like even when they're driving you mental, you're like, yo, like what a present. Like I was trusted with your life. Like that's incredible to me. I cannot believe that these people were given to me. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't believe I am a mother of 3. Like that's insane. I never really thought about it. Like it's nuts. I'm like, that's crazy. Like it's crazy.
It really is amazing. Yeah, that's what makes me. It makes you uber thankful for every day. I think definitely.
It does.
Even when you're tired and you're like, please just be quiet for 1 second.
Oh no, literally, I'm like, I just want a thought that's.
I bet they're like, mom.
Oh, when you hear it, I told Shep, I'm like, Shepard, you don't have to say mom every time. Like literally, he's like, mama, 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 and then he'll keep saying it, and he's waiting for me to like stop everything I'm doing, to look him in the eye, and then he's like, and then he'll say it again, and he's like,
He'll forget what he was going to say.
I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, it's so funny. Well, Harley goes, mommy, mommy, mommy. And Kevin's just like, why isn't it daddy?
Babe, there's a funny meme of that, and it's like literally this mom has like 1,000 microphones in front of her, and she's like clearly bewildered, and the dad is sitting there like on Nintendo. He's like right there. I'm like, dude is right there. Why don't you want to talk to him? They're like, no,
it makes
Mama.
no difference.
But he's right there. I'm like, and I'm literally so busy. I'm like, I'm so busy.
I know. And mine's away. He's away, like he's been away the whole year, more or less. So
God.
He's back tonight for 1 day. I'm gonna make him
build
stuff
I just had a
tomorrow.
curiosity because you know I feel like this. Do you feel like, especially because you and Harley have your own routine and your own groove, do you feel like sometimes it's almost easier being a single mom?
No, Kevin, I don't feel like that at all. No.
Oh, Kevin, I love you.
No, do you know what it is? When there's loads of us in the house or like everyone's here, it's just harder because there's more mess and more stuff and then less space that I can concentrate on doing my work. If I've got the routine of I'm dropping Harley to school, I'm doing every single school run. Now I've got between 9 and 3 to do all of this stuff on my list and to work and to do whatever I have to do, go to meetings, I can schedule easily with Kevin being away almost. Does that make sense?
100%.
I can just get it done, clean the house, everything stays clean. And then I'm just in my zone of just having to concentrate on that. And then when Harley gets home after school clubs or whatever else, but it's a schedule. So yeah, in one way it's kind of...
No, it's definitely one. It's
kind of easier, but then when it comes to things like putting the bins out, hate doing that. I'm like, I wish Kevin was here.
Right. No, but that has nothing to do with the kids though.
No. Oh no, nothing to do with that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like just specifically like raising the children. I think also because like I'm super poignant about like how I raise my kids. Like I have lots of very like focused conversations with them all the time. So like the way that I really want to raise them, and knowing that like my husband was raised very differently, so he has certain things that he likes to do that he does with them that were just like stuff that he grew up with that I'm like, it's like so foreign to me. So for me, and you know, because I was a single mom for almost 6 years with Knight before I got remarried, that like I got really accustomed to like not having to share ideas or space or
I remember
like being very like, he's being raised the way that I want to raise him, as opposed to having to share that with someone.
It's weird because you're not at all a bossy person, so I don't really understand.
Well, it's so funny because my husband's always like, you know, you're not a single mom. I'm like,
wow.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
He's a great dad. But it's funny.
No, he's amazing.
Very like, he is. He's super present.
I just think it's like, also we're very strong-willed women, so and we had very strong parents that brought us up in a specific way, and quite similar parents as well. So we had really strong family values and stuff, so we've got a very specific idea of how we want to do things and how we want to speak to our kids and bring them up.
Absolutely.
So basically, I'm coming on to the last long question. Then I've got some quick fire questions for you, which are funny.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll be funny, because we are quite funny in real life.
We think so.
It may not translate on here, but we'll try. What I was going to say is, obviously, a lot of people have probably seen the Mums at Rave at the top, but don't realise that this is my side project. I'm actually also Kelis's long time friend of like 21 years and her DJ as well. So the next question is about music. What's your favorite raving tunes?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many. Honestly though, I'm a 90s baby, you know that. Like I'm a 90s baby, so for me like the most fun is always going to be like playing old 90s records. And like I want to sing along. I want to hear, you know, freaking Mobb Deep and Biggie. I want to hear like all the like Puff and Mace, like, all the, you know, like.
And what happens when we go to the club and they play dancehall, Kelis?
You already know I love a dirty wine.
Like, as do I. Simone's on the chat as well.
At heart, deep down in my soul.
We got to shout out Damon and Simone, because Simone's in the chat as well.
Hi, what up?
And you know,
hi,
Simone is like all about the bashment, being Jamaican.
Simone's hilarious. Actually, it's funny because Simone was more of a, I mean, not really recent, but for us, because we don't make new friends, Simone was a new addition to our tour extravaganza, and Simone is hilarious. We have a lot of fun.
And it's hard to break into our group as well.
Well, first of all,
Simone did it.
We ostracize everybody, and like. Just by nature, because we've been best friends for so long, it's hard to like bring new people into the group, into the fold. But Simone definitely, well, first of all, she's like, I'm a Bogart in it, and
she's one of us.
So fun.
It's like,
we have so
I'm
much
here.
fun. I know.
Right, bitches, what's happening?
I love it. I do. I miss you, Simone. We have such good times.
She's so funny. Oh, Nikki.
So fun.
Simone's from the north of England, and they make them different up there. I'm telling you.
Do her accent. Do it.
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
Nikki. Come on, Nikki, we're going out. I'm like, no.
I
don't want to go.
It's so good. It's so
I love her. I love her. Okay, so we're on to the last bit of the chat. Quick fire questions.
Okay.
Just give me your best, quickest answer. I know you're a very decisive person anyway, so it won't be a problem for you. And, you know, you're not that opinionated, but give it a good go.
Okay.
Flowers or fragrance?
Huh. Flowers.
You lie. You love
Well,
fragrance. I've been in
live for
Liverpool and
fragrance.
Dubai with you for 8 hours straight buying fragrances.
No, I do. I know, but it's not about buying flowers. I'm thinking about like in my house. I don't know. I guess it is fragrance. Yeah, it's probably
It's
fragrance.
fragrance.
It is fragrance. You're right.
You
Why don't
love
you just answer the damn
perfume.
questions for me?
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll just sit here and answer them. I prefer that.
Okay, obviously.
The next one, I don't think you want no parts of either of these, but I ask every mum the same one. So, lunch with Little Kim or a night out with Meg the Stallion? Don't you dare ask me who Meg the Stallion is.
I mean, I don't. But I have nothing. There's no beef. I'm like, I don't know them, so it's not like I'm like.
No, so basically, I was going to totally discount this one, and this is the remix, okay? So for you, and only you, I'm doing a different question for that one.
Okay.
Duet with Jasmine Sullivan or Dave Hollister?
Ooh.
I'm good, aren't I?
Give me Hollister. Yeah, give me some Dave Hollister right now. Yeah,
Me too.
I miss him. Yeah.
I love Dave Hollister. Very underrated.
So good.
Very underrated. He
I
can
love
sing his
Jasmine
ass
too,
off.
but
Yeah, I
Dave,
love her too. Yeah.
I haven't heard anything from him in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I knew you wouldn't like the other question, but everyone else loves the other one and always picks lunch with Little Kim.
I don't even get it, though. I don't even understand the question. I'm like, I don't get it. Why would we be doing
Well,
this?
it's because you've been around all these people, so you're like, why would I want to go to lunch?
I mean, again, like, there's nothing. I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't understand.
No, I know you wouldn't. Of course, you wouldn't get it. Okay, mini, midi, or maxi?
Say what?
Mini, midi, or maxi?
Oh, mini.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, you've got good pins.
Yeah,
might as well get them out.
I'm like, make it a panty if you want. I'm like,
I mean, quite often it has been.
Oh, yeah, totally.
A batty rider.
Yeah.
Tiger or leopard?
Oh, in history, leopard, but like, I'm definitely in a tiger vibe right now. But in history, leopard for sure.
Also, I feel for homeware, tiger is really good.
All the way. Oh no, like
like cushions, prints.
Oh, a couch? I've been looking for a couch.
In tiger. You're just gonna have to get it covered, I think. Okay. Oh, are you still there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Have you gone? Okay, what's going on with the Wi-Fi? Is Kelis frozen? I think she is. Hopefully she'll come back in a second and we can finish the chat. Oh, I think her Wi-Fi cut out. So I'm going to take this off for a second and then come back, okay? Hey. Right, I'm not sure what's happening and if Kelis is going to know that I'm back online. I just had to post the other bit of the video so I didn't lose it. Hopefully she'll rejoin the conversation. Let's see. I'm going to send her a message on my other phone and say I'm back on now. And come back. I think her Wi-Fi froze. Hi Marcus, hi Joey, hi Sal. I'm gonna wave at you all. Hopefully you've been enjoying it up to now. It was very fun. It's very fun to see my friend actually as well on live video chat because we're not really that good at phoning. We don't really like phone calls. Hi Marcus, how is it in it? Hi Millie, how is Atlanta? I'm back too. Okay, come back on. Okay, I'm just sending Kay a message saying come back on the chat. Let's see if she turns up. Hi Tash. How is Dubai? Hello. Oh, it's hot in Atlanta. Nice. Okay, here's Kelis. Go live. Yes, I will. Hopefully you guys are... Hi, Kayla.
Hey, sorry.
Oh, you're outside now, giving us
I had to come outside. My internet was acting crazy.
giving us a different
And
vibe.
I just saw this massive freaking lizard. It was like huge.
Oh, I don't mind a lizard.
Oh no, it was big. I was not a fan.
I do
not,
however, like a big insect. That is not for me.
Yeah, no.
Remember when we were in Marrakesh and that thing ran out of the hotel wall?
And you nearly gave me a heart attack.
I screamed and you jumped in bed and you were like, "What are you screaming at? This lizard's like,
Why are you screaming? It doesn't fly.
It was massive. It was like this long and it slithered at 100 miles an hour.
That's all not true.
It was like if a M word had come across the room, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Okay, so the last few questions.
Okay, hit me.
To anyone that's just joined, hi, I'm DJ Nikki. I'm Kelis's DJ, but I'm also in charge of Mums at Rave, which is an event for mums. And we do panel talks and we do IG lives with interesting women in the arts and music. So yeah, in a nutshell, we've been on for about an hour and a half now, just chatting. But we're now on the quick fire questions, which I do to every mum guest that comes on. Okay. And we just did tiger or leopard, and you said leopard, but tiger for like homewares and stuff, right? So yeah. The next one is Vogue or En Vogue?
Oh, En Vogue all day. You already know that.
I mean, we toured with them as well, didn't we?
I know. We sure did. That was fun.
It was so good. They're so ladylike as well.
They're so, but the thing is, that's what I loved about them from back. They were always such ladies.
Yeah, they were.
So debonair and so like, yeah, they were elegant.
And when you meet them, they're exactly that in real life. And every night they're dressed to the nines. Their hair is like done.
For sure. Totally.
Yeah, they're amazing. Okay. Block heel or stiletto?
Stiletto. But I'd like both, but I stiletto.
I like a block heel too. It's very practical.
It is. But I like sharp, like, you know.
Well, yeah. Especially like, yeah, in a neon or something. Yeah, I love a stiletto. Neon stiletto. Dancehall queen or disco scene?
Dancehall queen for the music and disco for the fashion.
I agree wholeheartedly. But, however, you know, in our hearts, we both like a dutty wine and a batty rider.
All day. The best top any day of the week, okay?
I agree. Squats, salad, or sex?
Sex.
Every single mom has said sex, by the way. Zane, I know, squats. I mean, something's going wrong if you'd rather squat, right?
Wrong experiences, my friend.
Things are not good. Zane or SWV?
Oh, that's hard. That's hard. I would say Jeanne, but you know, I'm a huge SWV fan. But I'll say, for the sake of the conversation.
Okay. Baggy or bodycon?
Bodycon.
Red lip or smoky eye?
Red lip.
I told you you'd find these easy. Mod or rocker?
Say it again.
Mod or rocker?
I can go either way. Mod takes more effort, so probably rocker.
Yeah, I feel the same. Both amazing moments, though.
Yeah, it takes more effort, though. It's like you have to be more thought out.
Yeah.
We just do.
This is very easy, but we've done both over the years. Hipster or high-waisted?
I'm definitely high-waisted, though, for sure, all day.
Yeah. And also, remember those jeans? The jeans in the Bossy video.
Our generation, I started that. I'm like, yeah. For this era, that's mine.
The super high-waisted ones with the buttons.
Yeah, no one was wearing a mom jean before me.
Yeah. Moschino or Chanel? Serious question.
Chanel.
Well, I think Damon and I are more on the Moschino side, don't you think?
Yeah, you guys are.
Yeah.
'Cause it's more like it's the less severe Chanel. It's like more
Yeah.
colorful. It's more
More
playful.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Where
Yeah.
Chanel is more like,
Style. Yeah.
I'm a bitch.
Although Nicola,
Chanel is
Nicola loves
disrespectful.
some Chanel.
Well, because, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more disrespectful.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, it's
sure.
true. It's obnoxious. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah. I am rich. Two-step or Dutty Wine?
Dutty wine all day.
Me too, obviously.
Look.
Classic R&B jams or hip hop and you don't stop?
Hip hop, for sure.
Yeah. Which is something I always try and convey in the shows as well, like how ingrained in hip hop you are.
I don't know why people don't understand that. And then if they do, they take it too far to the other side. And like, you know, it'll be like some old person like, she's a rapper. I'm like, no,
When I've seen that already, I'm like, what planet are you from? Like, you obviously don't know anything about music.
Well, it's like my neighbor, like, told my other neighbor, obviously I live in the middle of nowhere in like ranches. So these are like old white people. But like one of them was like told, like, you know, a rapper moved in. And I was like, who? I was like, where?
Oh my days.
Talking about you. I was like, oh, that's ridiculous.
That's so well. I think we know why that was. Okay, so man boot or sneaker?
That's a hard one. I'll probably go sneaker, but I definitely love a good, you know, a good les boot.
To me, you're man boot through and through. Really, that sums you
I
up.
am, you know, like I performed for years in Kicks. Like that was like,
Yeah.
I had to make men cry with my sneaker collection.
That you gave away. We both gave away all our trainers.
I know. And I kick myself. That's
thing.
one thing that I'm like, why did I do that? That was so
I know, me too. And then I see pictures of stuff that we wore on stage. And I'm like, why did I give that away?
Or you'll look at a stupid freaking one of these new, like, you know, Zen G retarded whatever kids standing online. And you're like, I had those.
Yeah.
Like, oh, $700.
I know
like,
the ones that like, I know the ones they're selling on different websites. And I'm like,
I had them in every color. And they engraved my name in them. And then I freaking was like, oh, I don't need these. They're taking up room in my closet. Stupid. That was dumb.
I know, it's hilarious. Yeah, it's annoying. I do feel annoyed that I gave away so many good trainers. I gave away like Jeremy Scott's.
Yeah, it was all the freaking like all the Jeremy Scott Adidas stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, stupid. I should have kept it.
That was bad planning. Poor decision making.
Yes, that's what you're thinking. I won't let you do that again. Burberry or Balenciaga?
That's a good one. I love both. I would say probably Burberry though, oddly.
Wow.
But I like all their military stuff. It's more like,
yeah,
there's more history behind it, I feel like.
There is, yeah. But I feel like Balenciaga have been killing it for a good few years now.
No.
So,
you know, I've got incredible, but you know what it is about Balenciaga? And I think the difference between Balenciaga and Burberry is that like, Burberry is more like iconic. It's like they have stuff that like timeless, right? Like classic. So like, certainly like a lot of their military stuff, like I'm not into like the plaid or whatever, but like definitely like more kind of like staple pieces over the decades, you know?
Yeah, you're right. I do remember DJing a puffy party in the 90s wearing a Burberry boob tube.
Sounds about right.
Fun fact for you. Yeah, it does sound about right. Okay, kitchen disco or rave till the cops come?
Rave till the cops come.
All day, my friend.
Oh, always.
That is why we will always be friends.
Always.
Because once you get us out,
like they're always like, please, Kelis, we love you, but you have to go.
Leave.
They're like, the lights are on. Have you not gotten the clue? I'm like, it just means you can see my outfit better, bitches. They're like, please go home.
I mean, when we were younger, quite often I would just disappear, wouldn't I?
Oh.
I would sneak off and they'd be like, where's Nikki? And I was at home in bed in South London.
The worst.
And you used to get so annoyed because I'm like,
why are you
the lights
getting out?
But, however, I mean, I still party pretty hard.
I'm always the last one. I'm
You
like,
are.
I'm out. I'm like, we're hanging out.
Yeah, Simone's saying you still do. Yeah, I do. I do escape.
He still does. Yeah, it's annoying as hell. I'm like, why are you leaving? I'm like, first of all, and you still pull that crap. I'm like, I'm going to the bathroom, to the loo. Lies. You're a liar.
You're
Okay,
like,
you're going.
she's leaving. Get her. And now there's two of you. There's Simone that also understands my sneaky ways. Yeah, look,
DJ.
Nikki sneaks away. Yeah, Simone knows now. So now Kelis is like, get her. Don't take your eyes off
Let her
Nikki.
go. I'm like, she doesn't have to pee. She's full of it. Not.
Follow her. Yeah, I know. You do follow me as well, both of you.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, we're all gonna get as a group. Okay.
Well, I mean, I feel like I've soldiered 21 years, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah. No, we definitely have. We absolutely have. We have partied the hardest with the best of them for
All over the world. On every continent, by the way.
Literally.
Even Arctic. We've been to the Arctic Circle, haven't we?
We have. We've been everywhere. We've done everything.
Yeah, literally. And drank all the Hennessy.
All the drink.
All the drinks. Okay, this is a very last question.
Okay.
Netflix and chill or sleep and vitamin pill?
Oh, obviously Netflix and chill.
Yeah, I know there's not one thing about sleep that you're going to say yes to.
I'm like, that sounds really boring.
Yeah, why would I want to sleep? Unless I sleep with my eyes open for 3 minutes.
It's overrated.
And then I wake up and I'm perfectly well and functioning.
So fun.
Yeah, this one does not like sleep at all.
It's just like, I sleep when I'm dead.
Well, I love sleep.
I know, it's the weirdest
I
thing.
love it. She's like, this is so annoying. Why do you like sleeping?
Sleep just get by. You sleep like you're like,
I love it. I love dreaming. I like sleeping. I like being in that state where you wake up but you can't feel your limbs. You go back to sleep.
Conscious. Who says that? It's ridiculous.
I love it.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, to me, it makes perfect sense to sleep 8 hours a night and be happy and healthy. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on Mums at Rave. You are a true Mums at Rave. You embody everything about this whole thing from the start that I wanted to show, that mums are not a stereotypical thing and that there's women out there carrying on with life, living their best lives once they've had kids, loving being mums, but also loving wearing, you know, a high-waisted jean and a stiletto.
All day.
So yeah, thanks for coming on, and it just makes it even better that you're one of my best friends in the world, and we've had 21 years of this fun times together, basically.
Long ass time, my friend.
It
is
is
a long time.
And not really, we don't really have arguments or anything either.
I don't think we really have ever had like a real argument. Something to argue about. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, you're loud and American, which sometimes I mistake. And for a long time, I thought every time you called me bitch, I was like, why does she keep calling me bitch? Like when I first met you, I was like, hold on, I might have to actually fight you because she keeps calling me bitch all the time. It took me years to understand that. I was like, oh, okay. It's a bit like the way British people say the C word.
Well, that is not something that we say here at all. And that is definitely, that would take me a moment too to be like, oh, so you want to fight?
Yeah.
You wanted to fight because
so British people say that to their mates, the C word. And especially men, that'll be like how they talk to their friends.
Oh, yeah, no.
So, yeah, the cultural differences are sometimes there, aren't they?
Oh, it makes us laugh, though. It's funny. Because,
it is funny.
Lots of
especially when I try to order water in America and this lot will take the piss out of me. They're like, they're not going to bring you it. You need to say water. And I'm like,
always like, what? What do you need? Water? They're like, we don't have that.
And then this one and Damon just laughing their heads off at me like,
it's ridiculous because you know they're not going to answer you. So I'm like,
well, I refuse to do fake American mid-Atlantic accent for,
funny,
you know, like certain supermodels. But anyway, shade, no shade. So thanks a lot for coming on. It's been amazing,
my friend. No problem.
And yeah, if anyone's a new mum or a mum that's like, you know, been a little bit down in the dumps, I hope this has kind of cheered you up a bit. I'm going to post these on the Mums at Rave page so you can watch them afterwards. And yeah, it's been real.
It's easy breezy. Basically,
I
we just
missed you.
in our conversation, so that's the fun
I'm
part.
annoyed that you're in California. Every day we look at the map with Harley. I'm teaching him capital cities and countries,
So
and I'm
cute.
like, look, that's where Sheppy lives.
Aw, well,
But
you know,
it's,
it's time for you here, ma'am. So just come on out whenever.
well, when we're allowed, yeah. I think
know.
we are allowed. I'm not even
I was
sure.
gonna say, aren't you guys opened up yet? Is it not
Who
open yet?
knows? Every day the country's changed where we can go
Well,
and where we can't go.
This year's been one for the books. It's been freaking nuts. But we'll get.
Well,
I'll be in Scotland in September.
my people.
Did they tell you that? They told you that, right?
Yeah, no one told me. You told me. No
Okay.
one else tells
Someone
me.
tell you that?
She's like, Nick, you'll be there.
September.
No one tells me until like the week before usually, and I'm like, okay, I guess I better like pack my stuff.
Get your stuff back, my friend.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll see you this summer because it's been too long.
It's been way too long. We'll try to get it together. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Be good.
And it's been nice to have a phone video conversation because in real life we would never do this, right?
There's no point.
Yeah. We don't even like phone calls. I'm like, just text me.
Just hit me up.
Oh,
Fine.
On this note, okay, because I know we both feel the same. Like we're not like oversharers or like, if we've got issues, we basically work through them ourselves, and then you might find out in 2 months that something you know, like that's just how we deal with stuff, isn't it?
For sure.
But what do you feel about Clubhouse? Because when I joined it, I saw that you remember, and I literally creased up laughing because I was like, Kelis would hate this.
It's literally so
I hate it.
It's so funny. So someone told me about it, like before it kind of hit whatever. Yeah. They were like, "Oh, you got to get on this forum, blah blah blah," right? And I just was like, I don't get it. I was like, I don't understand it. I think, you know what? Honestly, I understand why it's important for people. For me personally, it's hard for me to sit and listen to people talk. Like, I don't even listen to a lot of podcasts, to be honest with you. Just not interesting ones, and like I get it, but I'm just not good about like sitting around listening to people talking about things that, like, you know, it's like it's a lot of like pontification and a lot of like, and then also too, I feel like
the opposite of what we like. I'm
a doer. I'm not so much of a talker, and on top of that, like I feel like I was listening to one about like flat earth, and there was like one guy that was like so crazy and rude, and I was just like, is someone gonna ban this guy because like he's being such a dick? I was like, this shouldn't be allowed. Like, he's rude as hell, he's disrespectful. He was just like berating this chick with freaking, it's like, okay, you don't agree, whatever, who gives a crap? Like, you're like a monster. Like, you don't belong in social settings. Like, and I think one of the things about like all the social media, there's always a new platform. There's just the fact that like people have the gall to come out their face in ways that they would never really in real life. And so for me, I'm not here for that. Like, I don't like that. I'm like, you're a punk in real life, and like, this is not the place to go and like insult some woman because you don't agree with her when she's, you know what I mean? It's like when she's not being rude to you. Like, it's just, that's annoying to me. So
yeah, because in real life there's repercussions, and especially coming from like the way we were brought up and then the places that we've come from.
Yeah.
You said shit to someone, something's going down, something's going to happen.
Right.
But now people just feel free and easy to just be like all these opinions and
say all these opinions. And my whole thing with, and you know, I get it. Like, now that I see what it is and I understand it more, you know, there obviously are people with like really valid, dope credentials. But like at first I was like, how do you know who the hell anybody is? And like that they're even qualified to be talking. Like, why are you talking if you don't know anything? Shut up. Yeah. So like for me, like that's a lot. And then I think too, just the fact that like I hate networking. I hate it. Like I hate it so much. I don't like networking. I feel like, you know, I know what I'm good at. I know what I do. And I'm like, if someone's interested in doing business with me, I feel like you know what I do and you know what I can offer. So it's like, I'm not good at like But like, I'm not good at that stuff. So I
The
have a hard time.
schmeg-
If they're good at it and they love it and it works for them, it's like, that's fine. I have a hard time with all of
yeah.
that.
No, I literally, I was like, oh my God, Kelis joined this. This is the funniest thing I've ever seen. And I was cracking myself up looking
So
at
there's a lot of really interesting like Black gardening forums, which I was totally excited about. And I met some really dope people on there through that.
One time I went on by accident and I saw you were on. So I went in the room where you were and it was talking gardening and I went, peace.
Yeah, it has to be like with a purpose. Like, I don't want to just talk about, they're like, oh, you know, this artist is coming on with this business person. And I'm like, I don't actually care about anything they have to say. I'm like, how do I make the tomatoes grow larger? Like, that's what I want to know about. And I want to talk to other Black and other, you know, brown communities that have been disenfranchised and been marginalized that are actually like making things thrive and grow. I'm interested in that. I'm not interested in like some other, like, yeah, like, I don't care.
Okay, so that's an interesting point to wrap up on, though, about being a Black farmer. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I mean, it is like, you know, honestly, I feel like when I look at my children and I look at legacy, right? And when I look at like what generational wealth is, you know how you and I have these conversations all the time. Majority of white wealth comes from, it's off the backs of some disenfranchised community, right? No matter what country you're in. And usually there's land attached to that, you know? And so when you look at how, especially here in America, how much land was taken from whether it's Native Americans to Black people to, you know, the Chinese community that was here building things on the land. Like, there's so many cultures and groups that have been stripped from their land, of the land, you know, all of that. So I think being a Black farmer, being a Black landowner, when I think about legacy and power, that's what I want my children to learn by this. That's what I want to give them. You know, it's like, Fannie Lou Hamer, she said, like, if you give me land and a pig, I know I'll eat. And like, the reality is that like, that's where generational wealth has come from over the generations. It's come from land, you know, like I said, especially with my culture, with my people, we were taken from our land, put on other land, and had to work the land and build this country. So, you know, for me, like, being able to bring it full circle, the importance of, you know, biopic landowners, and that's Black, Indigenous people of color, it is paramount. It is the most important thing that I can do. It is the most important thing that I can give and show my children. That's where the power comes. When we talk about crazy government and turning over governments and all the things that are happening in your country and in my country, the only power you actually have is how you're eating, what you're growing, and your space. You know what I mean? Like, what I allow in my space, that's my land, that's my area, that's my atmosphere, right? That's my own personal ecosystem. And so, like, being able to, and again, like I said, historically knowing that, like, in this country, how we were swindled and how our land was stolen from us, and, you know, all of those, the history, that we have such a dark history, it is so important. And I think it is so powerful to be able to say, I've got my land, this is my land that I'm going to be able to pass on to my children. If I can't give them nothing else, it's this. I feel like I did all right.
You've done more than all right. You've done absolutely amazing. Everything you do, you work so hard. I know people from the outside might think it's all an accident, or it's like, you know, you've been lucky or whatever, but I know you have grafted for every single thing and fought for everything as well. Now, you've had to fight for everything, like from people ripping you off to all the things we know about and don't speak on because we're too classy, quite frankly. I'm so proud of you for everything that you've achieved. And, you know, the fact that you're on a farm, getting your hands dirty and doing everything from the ground up as well. It's pretty inspirational.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
It's so good. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything worse, but you know,
yeah, but you
like that.
But you love all the fresh veggies and like,
no,
where
I
the hell
do.
that comes from?
It's just because I grew up in farming, so like, you know, I tried to get as far from that as possible. But the older I get, the more I like spending time growing things the same. So I guess we're the same people. It's just now you've got like land and you're growing things and it's evolving.
Taking the control back, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's an amazing thing to do. It really is.
I love it. It's been the best. Like, I can like think of my life in like some of the choices that I've made. Some of them are in my top 5 like best choices I've made, and this is definitely like hands down one of them for sure. It's in my top 5.
Well, I would have thought I'd have been to the farm already by now, but
I know, and you would have been had this year not been so freaking crazy and out of our control. But you'll get here. We've got
yeah,
my friend.
yeah, exactly. You moved in right before, well, just a bit before.
Literally, yeah. Like
down.
it was crazy because this year, you know, we were on the road when COVID really hit hard, but like I hadn't had time to really be here and do anything. So like it's kind of, you know, it's been a blessing in disguise that like over this year I've been able to really like get in like in the land and like really like figure out what we're doing here and like learn it and, you know, kind of like.
Oh, have you gone again? Can you hear me? Yeah.
No, I'm here. Yeah, here.
I've got one other question. You know all your gold mine boxes and all the stuff that you're selling that you grow. Can you explain to me what cold pressed oil is? Because I see you talking about it all the time and I do not know the process. What is that?
Funny. Okay. Yes, I can actually. Okay. So like, think about, okay, you're a vegetarian. So one of the most important things about vegetables and, you know, where all these they are cold pressed, meaning that there's zero heat. So, you know, like as soon as you cook a vegetable, it's immediately it starts to like lose its nutritional value, right? So if you're cold pressing something, number one, that's why it's expensive. You're cold pressing something, so you're not heating. Heating, number one, does help. It aids in like extracting oils, but it's also killing off whatever antioxidants, whatever vitamins, whatever nutrients you're going to get. So when I say cold pressed, I mean it's expensive, it's concentrated, and it's the best possible quality that you can get because it's got the minimal amount of process. I always say like, with everything that you eat, whatever you're putting on your skin, your hair, in your body, you want the minimal amount of human hands and handling in it, right? As soon as humans get involved in something, like you're taking it away from nature and what it naturally is supposed to be and how it's going to be best for you. So with cold pressing, whether it's cold pressed olive oil, cold pressed turmeric, it means that it's not heated, it's not processed at all. They literally took a raw turmeric root, they took a raw olive, and they just squished it as it was, which means you're going to get less of it, but you're going to get more of the nutritional value. You're going to get all of whatever it has, all the packed full of goodness that it has, because there's no heat, there's nothing that's going to alter it. It's literally in its rawest and in its most natural form. So that's why it's absolutely the best.
Got you.
So you always want cold press. You don't want anything that's heat extracted.
So the old-fashioned way of cold pressing would have been putting the olives in a big barrel and walking on it, right? Like
essentially, and like for my olive oil, like that's what I mean. I'm not stepping on it, but like it's basically the exact same process. We're taking it cold as it is off the tree, and then like literally just like with a massive thing with pressure, pushing it. Yeah, that's it.
Amazing. Okay, because I was wondering how the process actually works. And
well, because like think about it, like back in the day, right? Because it's cheaper, it's easier, it's faster. You would heat up whatever, whether it's a sunflower seed or a peanut or a olive or whatever. You heat it first, and then naturally the oils start to come out. And then when you press it, you're going to get more out of it, and it's a faster, easier process. But you're killing off, the second something goes over 118 degrees Fahrenheit, which I guess I don't know what that is Celsius off the top of my head, but once you do that, like you're killing off automatically, like more than half of the nutrients of what like what you're supposed to be getting. So you want to make sure that it's as least processed as possible, which means that it's cold pressed. So that's why I only you'll never see me use, because then it's what's the point? Like I might as well use freaking like corn oil or vegetable, you know what I mean? Like, which I don't want to make. So like if I'm using olives or whatever it is, I only use cold press. Even like the shea butter, everything, like I get it from women who are harvesting in Uganda. Like it's the purest form you can absolutely get, other than it freaking you plucking it from the tree yourself.
So what's the next box that you're releasing?
I'm actually doing a Juneteenth box. So I have a bundle releasing today. It's Friday. So people have been asking me about the larger body butters because they come in a 4 ounce an hour. We're doing an 8 ounce and a 12 ounce. So we're releasing that today. And I did a hair mask, which actually you should see because I did it yesterday. My hair is so freaking shiny and soft right now, and I smell like cake. So it's called Cake Batter. So that's releasing today, and the hair oil, which is really good for hair growth. And then next week I'm doing a Juneteenth box. And I don't know if do you know what Juneteenth is?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're doing a Juneteenth box, which I'm super excited about because it's bomb. I've got like dehydrated okra and tomatoes and like all this bomb stuff to do like a Carolina Gold, like red beans and rice type thing. So I'm excited. It's gonna be dope.
So you're doing your skin boxes, your skin and hair, and then you're doing your food ones.
Yeah, totally. And it's all
And
like it's all organic, all cold press, all the best possible stuff you can get.
are you shipping to the UK now as well?
I do. The only thing I don't ship to the UK are the raw pies, just because I can't ensure that they'll get
Yeah.
there.
They would be
fresh.
Yeah.
But I do everything else. So I ship.
Amazing.
Actually, it's funny because like I ship a lot of stuff to the UK. Actually, like we have a whole like shipment that goes out every week because we get a lot of orders from my guys across the pond. So we
It's not that
ship to
funny,
the UK.
really. You
Huh?
basically were adopted by us a long time ago. So
I
it's not
was.
that
I know. It became a home away from home, honestly. Like I didn't even know or plan on it, but I was always so welcomed. And like, yeah, I think London's one of the greatest cities in the world, really. So aside from New York, obviously. But yeah, without a doubt.
very similar places, I think.
For sure.
So yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, anytime. I love you. I told you all you had to do is tell me when. I'm like, just don't make me like schedule it myself. Just say when you want me and I'll show up.
I had a few like palpitations earlier. I was like, I don't think her WhatsApps are going through and she's not answering Instagram. This may not happen.
No,
So,
I told
yeah.
you. I'm like, I got you, girl.
I know, but sometimes, we've sometimes missed a couple of flights or like been a little late.
Not that many. Steve admitted the other day, I was like, I've not missed that many flights. He's like, you're right.
No, you haven't
a lot
missed
of
any
stress.
years.
I know. It's just I'm always rushing, but I'm not like missing them.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe we should talk about your phobia of airports before I go.
I don't have a phobia of airports. I just don't. I don't love them. It's just like it's all the it's annoying.
You're like
it's annoying. It's irritating.
20 minutes. Literally gives me a heart attack every time.
Well, because they're like, you need to be there 4 hours early. It's like to do what? To do what?
Please look at my skin.
So annoying.
You know, me and Damon, your two besties love to be at the airport early.
Oh, because you guys are freaking crazy. I'm like, why are we? Why is this happening? You want to be at the club 4 hours before the party starts? I'm like,
no, I don't do that.
I'm like, I'll get there when it's time. When I get there is the time I'm supposed to be there. That's when I'm supposed
20
to be
minutes before the plane
I'm
leaves.
never late. I tell people all I'm like, I'm never late. They're like, you were late. I'm like, based on
no,
what?
you're not.
Like, what are
you're
we
not. I can vouch for that. So thank you so much. And maybe we should call each other every now and again instead of WhatsApping.
If it ain't broke, don't
Yeah.
We've been, listen,
I mean,
we
if
made
it
it work
ain't
this
broke,
long. Yeah,
we've lasted.
We made it work this long.
21 years.
This is the longest relationship between you and Damon I've ever had.
Right?
It's my longest relationships.
Oh. Hey, Marcus. So thanks to everyone that tuned in and stayed with us.
For sure,
we've been chatting for ages. And thanks, Kay, for giving up your time.
No problem at all, my love.
And
I love you. Hit me up. I'm around. We need to make birthday plans if we can get together somehow for you.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? It's my birthday, 4th of July. And I did want to maybe do a 4th of July barbecue, but I just can't cope with people coming around.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
You could do a Zoom barbecue.
I'd have to cater. That's if you were here, I'd be like, hey, it's a project. Come on.
I'd be down. You already know. I
know. I remember the Channel 4 barbecue in our dressing room.
I got in trouble for that.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, so I'm thinking about that, but yours is I'm sure you were supposed to be here for your birthday or around that time.
I was supposed to be, but it's just still so weird and like it just didn't make sense. I'm like, we couldn't make it happen. I was like, I can't do it. It's too much. So I think the first time I'll be out there as of right now is September. Stuff changes so frequently, so we'll see. But that I know of, like that's confirmed, it's just September. Well, I'm happy that we'll be doing Scotland. Me too. That's ready. Amazing news. You love a Scot. You know I do. They're the fun rowdy Scottish people. They're the fun English people. Yeah, we are. Well, British. Yeah, we're the most fun that you'll find. Well, Irish are fun as well. Irish are fun too, for sure. Yeah. For sure. You guys are like fun loving and like rowdy. You like to fight. Loud, love singing. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I'm down. I can get down. Okay, well. Hit me up, lady. I'm around.
I'll text you after this, but thanks to everyone for tuning in.
For sure. I'm gonna send you a box. Actually, I'll send you a beauty box and some spices and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll send
Send
it
me
to
some
you.
CBD
It's
as
so
well.
small. Oh yeah, actually I will. I've got some good stuff. We did a
Okay, good.
CBD bath soak that's really dope. I'll send you
Well,
some
that
stuff. I'll
sounds
just get
good.
the box for you. Yeah, it's good. It's so good.
Yeah, my hips are not what they were.
Yeah, but you like pregnant on that note. Goodbye, my friend. I love you.
It's my bedtime. I gotta go. Bye everyone. Bye, Kay. Love you. Bye. Bye.